Hello, flavorful people. For today, we're going to be reading a bit about the Ophiocordyceps unilateratalis, also known as the zombie ant fungus. I'm here on the Wikipedia page for said zombie ant fungus. Uh, English. We're going to be reading about the zombie ant fungus. It's an insect pathogenic fungus discovered by the British naturalist Alfred Russel Wallace in 1859, so it's no new thing. It's very old. We've known about it for a long time. Zombie ants infected by the zombie ant fungus are predominantly found in tropical rainforests. These fungi thrive in warm, humid environments, which are ideal for their growth and reproduction. However, they can be found in warm, temperate forest systems. The fungus primarily targets ants from the tribe Camponotini, including carpenter ants. The zombie ant fungus infects ants of the tribe Camponotini, with the full pathogenesis being characterized by alteration of the behavioral patterns of the infected ant. Infected hosts leave their canopy nests and foraging trails for the forest floor, an area with a temperature and humidity suitable for fungal growth. They use their mandibles to attach themselves to a major vein of the underside of a leaf, where the host remains after its death. The process leading up to the mortality takes 4 to 10 days and includes a reproductive stage where fruiting bodies grow from the ant's head, rupturing to release the fungus spores. The zombie ant fungus, in turn, is also susceptible to fungal infection itself, an occurrence that can limit its impact on ant populations, which can otherwise be known to devastate ant colonies. Related species like Tolypocladium and Flatum produce secondary metabolites that have been a source of valuable pharmaceuticals. Organisms like the zombie ant, often zombie fungus, have often evolved to produce specific metabolites for their antibacterial and/or host modulating activities. As a result, some of these metabolites may prove to be useful for pharmaceuticals. After years of systematics. After years of research, the taxonomy of the zombie fungus is becoming increasingly clear. Cordyceps versus Ophiocordyceps. Throughout history, there's been confusion about the distinction of the genera Cordyceps and the Ophiocordyceps. There have been many debates whether the zombie ant fungus and other fungi belonged to one or the other, as Ophiocordyceps was recently only brought forward. The genus Cordyceps comprises over 400 species, historically classified in the family Clavicipitaceae. Within the other Hypercreales. The classification was based on different morphological characteristics, such as filiform, ascospores, and cylindrical asci. I don't think that's pronounced like ASCII art. When cordyceps were first classified, there was no concrete evidence for the genus Ophiocordyceps. However, in 2007, important new molecular data was tested and enabled them to reorganize the family Clavicipitaceae. It's insane how just like they can research something and suddenly one thing is no longer part of a life thing. That's very interesting. Well, that's about it. How long have I been talking? I have time to talk about the suicide ant. Let me search for morphology. That's not it. Animal suicide. Alright, I'm going to read the controversy part of the animal suicide page on Wikipedia. The debate on whether an animal has the cognitive capability to commit suicide is highly debated. Many people have opposing views on what is considered suicide. It is often argued if animals commit suicide due to environmental factors or if they do it in a manner of self-defense. An example of this would be bees, as it is argued over whether bees are purposefully committing suicide or just defending their hives for an oblivious that stinging will cause death. The concept of animal suicide has progressed over time, so there is also controversy over whether animal suicide is just humans anthropomorphizing animals or evolutionary traits that appear over time. Currently, animal suicide has not been proven. However, the topic is hotly debated by scholars, psychologists, and animal behaviorists alike. That is interesting. Let's check out autothesis. Autothesis. There's a termite. Here it is. This is one of my favorite animals ever. One of the things that appear in the background is actually based off of this animal. Actually, I'm gonna remove the zombie and fungus slide thing. Give me a second. Which one is it? Okay, this one. Goodbye. One of the drawings in the background, not that one, that's not a drawing I made, but one of the drawings in the background is the colobopsis saunderisi, also known as the Malaysian exploding ant or suicide ant, which is fucking crazy insane. I'm gonna read this. A worker can explode suicidally and aggressively as an ultimate act of defense, an ability it has in common with several other species in this genus and a few other insects. The ant has an enormously enlarged mandibular gland and many times the size of other ants, which produces adhesive secretions for defense. According to a 2018 study, this species forms a species complex and is probably related to the Colobopsis explodens, another sick name, which is part of the Colobopsis cylindrica group. No page for that one. Its defensive behaviors include self-destruction by autothesis, a term coined by Marshwitz. Two oversized poison-filled mandibular glands run through the entire length of the ant's body. When combat takes a turn for the worse, the worker ant violently contracts its abdominal muscles to rupture its gaster at the intersegmental fold, which also bursts the mandibular glands, thereby spraying a sticky secretion in all directions, the anterior region of its head. The glue, which also has corrosive properties and functions as a chemical irritant, can entangle and immobilize all nearby victims. That was the flavor for today. I hope my little fungus thing on my head will really like this one. He's been slacking off recently. He copies me, but not that fast. Look. Not fast at all. Inefficient, I would say. So that's the flavor for today. The pre-recorded flavor for today, which is zombie ants. Goodbye.